We're here at Pike Creek Bowling Center for the finals of our youth adult Scotch doubles. Qualifying took place at Holiday Lanes, and in the prep division, the rookie division, David and Steve Atchley against Nicole and Barbara Markey. Nicole Markey now throwing for the first frame, and she gets a 7 count. Mother Barbara coming up, see if she can make the spare. Interesting set of bowlers here. All 4 bowlers come out of Brookside Bowl in Newark. Both parents are coaches in the program. And a spare. Start off the game. Nicole and Barbara get a 16-pin handicap. Up for the first time, David Atchley. Brookside bowler. Both 11 years old, by the way, the juniors. And a strike. Good start for David. That leaves Steve up there on lane 7. Steve will now throw the first ball. He's going to throw the first ball and leave David to make the spares. See if he can come back with a strike. And he does. Good start for the match. A double for the Atchleys. Nicole Markey coming up, second frame. She's going to be a 7th grader at Kirk. And a 5 count. With their handicap, that gives them 31 pins in the first frame, which isn't too shabby. Them 39 in the second. Nicole coming up in the third frame. Nicole's high game, she's at a 166, a 186, a 172. Her high series is a 448. Tournament, she's done quite well. In the state tournament, she took first place in the team event in 86, first place in the singles in 87, first place in the team in 88, first place in the singles in 88, first place all events in 88. Must be getting some good coaching from Mother. David Atchley's been bowling for 4 years. His high game is 222. His high series is 525. And he gets a strike. That's a turkey to start off the game. Looks like they're coming out gunning for the poor Markeys at this point. 3 strikes in a row right from the bat. Steve Atchley, teacher at Del Tech. Barbara's Janice, who runs the youth program at Brookside. And they get another one. Looks like these fellas came out to bowl. In the qualifying, Dave and Steve came out on top. They had a 492 scratch, 624 with their handicap. Nicole and Barbara had a 437 scratch, 184 handicap. 621 total, just 3 pins difference between the first and second place. Rough split here for Barbara. Fails to convert. Nicole coming up on lane 7. Our Youth Adult Scotch Doubles tournament is a part of the JBGA program where points are awarded based on position. Winner of each tournament gets 25 points. Second place gets 20. Third gets 17. Fourth gets 14. Fifth gets 12. And then it goes on down the line one at a time to 15th place for 2 points. At the end of the season, we have a big tournament for the top point leaders. And we have around 9 or 10 of these tournaments each year. We'll be right back with the conclusion of this match after these words. Okay, we're back at Pike Creek Bowling Center for the conclusion of our match. Youth Adult Scotch Doubles, the rookie division. Dave Atchley coming up, lane 8. Start out with 4 strikes in a row. He and his partner, his father, Steve. That ended that in a big hurry. Have a comfortable, commanding lead, actually, over Nicole and Barbara Markey. I think Steve is playing football on that one. So that'll give Dave a chance to come up again in the 6th. See if he can find himself back into the pocket. The head pin there. 6-10. Should be a fairly easy spare. And it was. Chance to come up, see if she can get her team off to a start. .59 left. Barbara Markey coming up. Puts it out there, and she makes the spare. Nicole up on lane 7. It's our 3rd year for JBGA tournaments. Been extremely successful so far. This year has been our best year yet. Most tournaments have broke records on attendance. And Barbara makes the spare. David up on lane 8 in the 7th frame, and he comes back with a strike. 2 frame laps, but he found the pocket. Steve Atchley on lane 7. 8th frame. Quite come up to the head pin. Leaves the 1-2-8 for David to make a shot at. Yes, indeed. Very good spare. It's a difficult spare for a youngster to make, but he made it like he knew what he was doing. Nicole coming up on lane 8. The city tournament, she's done also quite well. Took first place in 86-87 team. Third place team in 87-88. Singles and doubles in second place in 87. And she gets herself a strike. Leaves Barbara in the 9th frame. Count for Barbara. 6-10 standing in the 10th frame. Yeah, 102 in the 7th. Does she make the spare? Sure, she makes the spare. Okay, Steve Atchley coming up in the 9th frame. They've already won the match at this point, as long as they keep the ball in the lane for the next 2 frames. Extremely good score for Scotch doubles, especially in this division. And he comes back with a strike. Going into the 10th frame, they've got 174 in the 8th frame, strike up in the 9th. David throwing the first ball in the 10th. What got him interested in bowling? Most of the family was in it. We'll see if Steve can make this spare. Shouldn't be too difficult. It's easier than the one that Dave just made. David's favorite bowler is Mark Roth. Spares made. Now David can get up and throw the final ball in the 10th frame, the fill ball. Good 200 game. An outstanding effort on the part of David and Steve Atchley. 213. Beautiful game. They won themselves their match. All kinds of smiles in the background now that it's over. Looked a little bit nervous bowling, but he certainly didn't bowl like he was nervous. Barbara in the 10th frame on lane 8. Look at that pin run. It's one of those should-have and could-haves. 6 pin for Nicole Markey, 10th frame. Makes the spare. With a good count, they'll have a 160, which is certainly respectable in youth adult Scotch doubles for the rookie division, but nowhere near enough to take this match. David and Steve Atchley came through with flying colors. Final score of the match, David and Steve Atchley 213, Nicole and Barbara Markey 158. We'll be back with more of the Junior Bowlers Gazette after these words. We're at at Pike Creek Bowling Center. Youth Adult Scotch Doubles, the Junior Major Division. First bowler, Jodi Kane. Solid 10-pin. His mother, Chris, will get up, see if she can make the spare. In this match, we have Jodi and Chris Kane versus Scott Wickham and Lou Jaquin. Chris Kane, first look at her today. And, yep. She picks up the spare. Starting off the match, Scott Wickham coming up, bowls out of Price Lanes. 13 years old. And he gets a 6 count. Scott and Lou get 8 pins handicapped in the match versus Jodi and Chris. And he chopped it. Looked like he had it. And we have Scott Wickham. Goes to Stark School, an 8th grader. Well, there's a Michelle and Summer. And he gets one of them. Knocks down the 7-pin. Lou Jaquin coming up, see if he can pick up the spare. Them 2 opens to start off the match. Jodi Kane coming up on lane 8 in the 2nd frame. Started off with a spare. Jodi's 15 years old. Goes to St. Mark's High School. Be a 10th grader. And he gets a strike. That leaves Mama Chris to come up on lane 7. Count. See if Jodi can convert the spare. 1-2-8. Not an easy spare. But he did make it. Gives them a 40 in the 2nd frame. Clean game so far. Scott Wickham. A 5-pin. See if Lou can pick up this one. His son says he better pick it up. He does. Gives them their first mark. Maybe that'll give them the jump start to get into the match. They're 14 pins behind on the 3rd frame. Jodi and Chris have 40. Scott and Lou have 26, and both have spares in the 3rd frame. Rather unorthodox delivery by Scott. High game is at 207. Lou Jaquin, bowling for quite a few years. Oh. Not a good start. Not a good start. 1 mark in 3. Chris Kane in the 4th frame, lane 8. 57 through 3. See if Jodi can pick this one up. Jodi Kane's been bowling in leagues for 4 years. High game is 256. His high series, 640. Barely made it. Got a lucky spare there. Lucky spare. Leaves Chris to come up in the 7th frame. Or on lane 7 in the 5th frame. And another 7 count. Jodi Kane. See if he can pick up the spare. Came in first in the city team event in 84-85. Second in the 85 doubles. Chopped that one. 83 through 5. We'll be back with the conclusion of this match in just a moment. And we're ready to start the match again. Scott-Wickham up on lane 8. In the 5th frame. Scotty, an avid bowler, got interested in bowling by watching D. Walker. 3 count for Scott. Having a rough day today. Jaquin in the qualifying for the tournament. Jodi and Chris Kane were the tournament leaders with a 592. And Lou and Scott came in second in the qualifying with a 570. This tournament, the qualifying, was held at Holiday Lanes. It's one of our JBGA tournaments. Tournament players receive points based on the number position that they come in the tournament. 25 points goes to first, 20 for second, 17 for third. Fourth place gets 14, 12 for fifth, and then on down the line, 15th place gets 2, and anybody below that gets 1 point. Have a major tournament at the end of the season for the top 20 JBGA leaders. 65 in the 6th for Scott and Lou. They're having a rough time today. Chris Kane coming up in the 6th frame. Oh, yeah. It takes his time getting there, but it went to the right place, and they get a strike. Jodi Kane coming up in the 7th frame on lane 7. Aggressive bowler. And he pulls through one. Gives them a double. And now we have Scott coming up in the 7th frame. At all. It would have been an easy spare if that pin had stood. Now it's going to be difficult for Lou to convert this. 310. No, he didn't. 74 in the 7th. Scotty up on lane 7. Probably a little bit nervous with the camera and the lights. First time on TV jitters. I know how they go. 3 count for Scott. having a rough time converting the spares. But you have days like these once in a while. There we go. Lou comes back. Chris Kane coming up. Lane 8, 8th frame. Three in a row, maybe? Maybe? Nope. 7-pin stands. Yeah, 112 in the 6th. Striking the 7th. Having themselves a good game. See if Jodi can convert a 7-pin. He didn't like the looks of it. We didn't get to see it, but you could tell from his face that he didn't make that one. Chris is up, lane 9, or 9th frame, lane 7. They have 140 through 8 frames. Hey. Deadly accurate is Chris Kane. Scott Wickham on lane 8 in the 9th frame. Scott and Lou are on a spare. They're still falling. 6 count. They fell the wrong way, though. It makes it a real difficult spare for Lou. It's not a split because the head pin is still up, but in my book, that's a split anyway, as far apart as they are. '98 in the 9th. 10th frame coming up, Scott Wickham. And he drops one. Lou Jaquin, see if he can pick up the spare in the 10th frame. Rough game. Back to the drawing board, fellas. They'll be back, I'm sure. They're both good competitors. And yes, he did. Made the spare. That gives Scott one more ball to throw.
I got 100.
They got 100. Everything after that's gravy. Count. They end up with a 115. Scott Wickham and Lou Jaquin. Scott ends up with 20 points for his efforts. Jodi Kane will get 25 points as the champion in the Youth Adult Scotch Doubles. And they're going out with style. That's a double. Chris comes up in the 10th. Count 166. They end up with a 180 something or other here, depending on what Jodi does. Final ball of the game. Jodi makes a spare. Finish out. Jodi and Chris Kane 186. Scott Wickham and Lou Jaquin 115. We'll be back with more of the Junior Bowlers Gazette after these words. right, we're here today at Pike Creek Bowling Center for our youth adult scotch doubles, the junior division match. These are bowlers from our Bowlers Gazette Youth Adult Summer Leagues. Mark Dodds starting off with his strike. Greg Stewart coming up next. Youth Adult Scotch Doubles, the actual leagues. One took place at Holiday Lanes on Sunday night, the other at Pike Creek on Monday night. We had a Scotch Doubles tournament, and the top qualifiers from Holiday will be bowling the top qualifiers from Pike Creek. Greg Stewart. And he starts off with a strike. We may have a high-scoring match here. Lee Stewart, father of Greg. And he leaves the 4-pin for his son to pick up. Handicap differential here. Mark and Tom Dodds will get 28 pins for this game. Comes up with a miss, which gives them 28 through 2. There's Tom Dodds. First look at him for the day. Coach is up at Holiday Lanes. Lives in Boothwyn, Pennsylvania. A lefty. Good ball. Gives them a double. We see Mark Dodds, 13-year-older, bowling for 7 years at Holiday Lanes. High game, 250. High series, 574. Pulls that in a little bit. And leaves his dad, a nice 4-pin combination. 1, 3, 6, 10. Shouldn't be difficult for a lefty. Good spare. Gives them a 46-pin advantage after 2 frames. Lee Stewart coaches at Pike Creek. Brother, well-known local pro bowler Jerry Stewart, runs a pro shop up at Holiday. Leaves the 1-2 for Greg to pick up. Turnout this summer in our youth adult leagues. Had 10 teams at Holiday, 8 at Pike Creek. And we get to see Lee Stewart in the 4th frame. About 50-some pins down right now. They have to really get started here if they want to get back into this match. Lee's been a 200 average bowler for a number of years. In our summer league, I can find it here somewhere, he ended up with a 198. Greg ended up with a 171 average. Good spare. Okay, and now we had the fourth frame, a spare. Gives them 91 third to 37. And coming up in the fifth frame, Mark Dodds coming up. Gets a 9 count. Leaves a 5-pin for his father, Tom. And he makes a 5. We'll be right back after these words. And we're back with action at Pike Creek Lane's Lee Stewart. It's a lucky break, gets a strike in the fifth frame. It's 110 for Mark and Tom Dodds, 57 for Greg and Lee Stewart. Greg coming up on lane 7 for the 6th frame. 53 pins behind. They need to get a double here. And he did. That cuts down the lead just a little bit. And we're coming up. Mark Dodds on lane 8. Mark has placed first in the state singles, state doubles champion, Bowler's Gazette Rookie of the Year, took a high average for his league, won various JBGA tournaments, third place in the JBT. He is his father, a 4-pin. Tom Dodds. And he makes it. Theoretically, if you want to go by theory, Mark and Tom Dodds have a good team. Mark being the right-hander, his father being a left-hander. Makes for a good combination. Pulled that one over for a 5 count. Chops it off. 153 in the 7th for them. Get a look at Lee Stewart. Side game 289, high series 780. Been bowling for 22 years. Not quite. Could have been, should have been. That strike was needed by them to pick up some of the pins that they are behind. Greg Stewart needs to make this spare to keep themselves in the game. Greg's been bowling for 5 years at Pike Creek. Side game is 237, high series 630. And he makes a spare. Cuts down the lead to about 27 pins. And we're back with Lee Stewart. state finalist in the National Family Tournament with his son. Both sons bowl, Greg and Ed. Father, of course, Bus Stewart. Very well-known bowler for many years in the Wilmington area. One of the first out on the Pro Tour from Delaware. Mark Dodds coming up on lane 8. Everybody in his family bowls. Goes to Chichester Junior High School, an 8th grader. He's having trouble finding the head pin here. Last couple frames. .27 pins right now separating the two teams. Had a lot of fun this summer in the Bowlers Gazette Youth Adult Scotch Doubles Leagues. I managed to bowl in both of them. One Sunday night at Holiday and Monday night at Pike Creek. Hopefully we can expand that next year and go into some other houses. Had a good group of people bowling this summer, a really good group. Going to see Mark Dodds here in the 9th frame. Still missing the head pin. Father Tom going to see if he can make the spare. 1, 2, 8. And he does. Now, situation here, Greg Stewart needs this strike in the 9th frame to get back into this game. Without this strike, they are basically out of the competition. Important ball here for Greg Stewart. That didn't quite come up. One, 2, 4 for Lee Stewart. Takes the spare. They can strike out for a 190 something or other. If they do, they'll force Mark and Tom Dodds to at least make a spare in the 10th. So it's not over yet. Through with the strike. Lee coming up. Second ball of the 10th. And he needs a strike. And he gets it. We almost missed it, but he got it. Give them a 190 something here in the 10th frame, which will force Mark and Tom Dodds to get a spare. Big count here could be important. Can't get any bigger count than that. 196. The final series for Greg and Lee Stewart. Good game, 196. That forces Mark and Tom to get a mark of some sort and some good pin count in the 10th frame. Close match. Looked like a runaway for a while. Ooh, no. Mark wasn't at all happy with that ball. Not at all happy. And he looks like he's not happy. He knows he messed that one up. But Mark will be back. Good match. $100 scholarship goes to Greg Stewart on his victory in our tournament. And the final, 187 for Mark and Tom Dodds, 196 for Greg and Lee Stewart. A good match. We'll be right back with more of the Junior Bowlers Gazette after these words.
And